patted the leg, just like quit. Oh, hey, we're rolling, are we not?
Not exactly.
Not exactly. What is that supposed to mean? Okay, let's, let me real quick, you can start it as you want. I'm going to mute my mic and do a few things.
Okay.
It would be kind of fun to start it and explain what we're doing. For future generations.
Okay. Now it has been privated. Cancel. No. But we're just logging our thoughts and doing some private logs and some future plans for something we're working on. We're currently working on thinking about a game that we're going to be making in the future. But right now we just got base plans to do so, and development has not been started yet.
You know, maybe do a couple of, the name hasn't even set yet, which me and you have already started a couple of things, such as possible mission/game names, like Icebergs and Champagne. I think that would have been a great...
Icebergs and Champagne should be a good mission.
A mission is what I was thinking. Specifically, like you're on a battleship of an enemy country as they're celebrating the fact that they didn't die coming over here, because in the game, it's likely going to be post-apocalyptic or something of a war-ravaged world. Not a wasteland style like the actual game Wasteland, but it's closed because its people are starting to become pocket societies. They're getting ready for the big ending, you know.
The big kaboom.
I thought that would be kind of funny to have the game that part of the game would be called Icebergs and Champagne. To their enemy cruiser or submarine or something, or a battleship that's out there in the North Alaskan Sea around ice and shit, and they're having themselves a party because they weren't spotted. They were just, having a small celebration. Maybe a cruise ship or something or whatever instead of an enemy battleship, and have an enemy on it. And during all the partying, he goes in and does something that would cause dismay. And you might get to play as him doing it, and then go back and play as a soldier. I think lots of jumping around would be necessary to pay attention to the lore. Like, you play as the soldier causing the problem. It causes the soldier that you future play as to jump in and say, "Whoa there, Stan, you gotta chill the fuck out, man. We're going to have a whole war in your hands. We're already having a war." "Oh, yeah, you're right. We're going to make it worse." Where'd you go? Damn it. And then after that, it becomes an NPC, and he runs off, and then your character is the guy that was talking, and you play every step of the way on both sides. We also definitely said we should make no base. We don't want to do any paywalls. The only thing you should pay for in our game is the game itself. I feel so bad to start our game up, and then it was like, "Oh, look, this item is so cool. What does it do?" It's cosmetic. What's a little bit of a buff here and there? Maybe. How much is it? What do you mean, how much is it? Well, it's got like a bajillion of one item that's in the game. And that oh, look, never mind. They're going to play this game because that item is like $200 IRL to get enough points.
I want it to be like, "Hey, look at this item. How much do I have to pay for it?" "What do you mean, how much do you have to pay for it?" And then he looks at the free tag right there.
The answer would be
nothing.
You play the game and you get a credit or something that is in a part of the game itself.
Right.
There's no atomic shop, no buy a loot box, no pay to win loot crates as they're called from EA's time. We don't want that. You should only have to pay for the game at one time.
Where the only thing you can't pay for is the game itself.
Right, and I think the DLC should even be free as well, because in my plan here, if we play our cards right, and marketing goes as well as we hope, We won't need to make a DLC like that, where DLCs are paid for and everything else is pay to win outside of that. And the shop is like the Atom shop in Fallout, where it's just over there in its own menu spot. You can get it, you have to technically leave the game, go AFK, or not start a game altogether and go into it to get something from it. And it's kind of cosmetic, with exceptions. I don't want that. The game should be good enough that you pay for it, and the DLCs, all the way down to the DLCs, should be free of charge. You got the game, what to do? Here's a free DLC that does something like gives you a bunch of skins, or they may even be included with each update. Like, just having the DLC there, it comes over in the update as, oh, like the tankers brigade thing or whatever. It's like tanker trucks and actually with guns and stuff, and it has like skins, and the update was for stability or something, and then it just give you and it gives you something for updating. The DLC could be shoved in with the update. You know, like I said, I want to make sure we release date a few days or so before it's ready to be released. Making sure it works. Not it just works, it will work. I don't want to launch it and be tied, which is a sadistic money mentality.
Yeah.
I want to make sure it works, and if it does work, we did good. That's what I want. You know, if I know it works, then I should be fine. Maybe. You get what I'm saying? I would be happy if we launched it, no problems, with accepting a couple issues that may arise from like players doing things we didn't expect.
Right.
That's the one thing about development teams that don't know what they're doing, and then everyone's like blowing up on them at Reddit, and then you go back and you look at like, well, what did they do that's so wrong? And you look in the game, and then you're like, why are you getting mad as a dev team? Like, they were going to make their game and think, oh yeah, a player's going to do a backwards wall jump, glitch the game out on purpose to launch himself across the overworld. You know what I mean? I'm talking about the Mario games. No one would have ever in the dev team would have said, hey, that's a possible glitch mode where someone could use it to backwards wall jump. Though, you know, it's over now. It's too late when it was found. But do you think the dev team ever said they looked at those items and made it not do that? I mean, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And in a world of modern gameplay, the dev team won't know about that. I mean, I don't think the dev team would ever expect it to have, like, something as simple as blow your guy up last second on a plane, and it makes, like, a whole server crash. No one's going to expect that out of a suicide button in the game. It's just how it's used coincidentally, you know, or the coincidence that happened. There would be an oh hey moment, not a screw the dev team, they made a bugged game, or like I want to try to avoid as much of that bullshit as I can. This is a revive from Fallout. At the time of this video and the writing of this, the Fallout 76 is now a curse to damn everyone to hell more than a fun game to play. If you want to damn someone to hell, you give them a Fallout game and then videotape them having a tantrum because the game sucks that bad. You know, that's that game that kids would be like, you don't love me, you got me a Fallout game. You know, I'd rather would have had Fortnite or Cancer or some shit. That's how bad it's starting to get, though. At the time of this writing, I read a post, a thing called Reddit, and it was like, that's what one kid was like. I mean, I kind of tell he was a kid then, but he was a teen now. Then he was a kid. He's like, I remember my parents got me for my 10th birthday, got me Fallout 76, and then like 5 days later, after playing the game for 5 days, I was banned from the game permanently. But when I got it, that's the first thing I said to them. You apparently don't love me if you got me such a broken game. You spent so much money on a broken game that you don't love me. And then 5 days later, he got banned just for playing the game. And then his parents are now unhappy with him and with themselves more. Because he said, I told you so, you bought me a broken game. All he did was play the game. Picked up an item. He was a guy that wasn't much of a go on YouTube and look up tutorials or how this or do that to avoid problems. Like that one guy that's like, oh, you watch Fallout how-to videos. Well, here's a how-to-dupe video or how to mod video or how to hack for Fallout 76. He stayed away from videos for that reason. No spoilers as well. No lore videos. And 5 days in, jump in gameplay where you don't know anything, you're just going in, and he was banned from playing the game. He never said what he did or what happened, but he said he'll never, ever go back. It was not worth the amount of money paid in the first place, and it will never be. I voted that one. But our game is going to be the revival of that. To show people that, Todd doesn't know what he's doing, and if I can help it, I would like to be on par with the company that's falling. They're going to fall apart, and Todd's going to be like, shit's about the fan. Let me grab my money bags and leave. So our game is here to not only fix the genre of warfare and apocalyptic, maybe a little bit of apocalyptic gaming in a way, but we're going to set our own genre. We're going to set our own foundation. We're going to set a new play style in. And people are going to say, well, this game is new. It showed up right about the time that Bethesda fell. Maybe we can get an overlook. It's only for example, $15-$20. This seems like a hell of a deal given the DLCs are supposedly free. The trailer looked better than Todd's Fallout trailer. I'm actually intrigued, and then they go and play it, and fingers crossed that by the time that release goes out, people like it. The DLCs are free, and DLCs, you could use it to pay for a DLC. Especially a big one, such as Dark Souls 3, the DLCs are expensive. The game was expensive, and I never could get it to work right on my Xbox. That game was, like Fallout, not worth the amount of money paid for to play. Whereas Dark Souls, they're like, oh, you should have played all the other Dark Souls games before buying this one. So instead of selling it to people that could have played it and then helped the ones who didn't, everything was shit. It's like you had to know what the fuck was going on before playing. And, it was not worth my time. And learning from their mistake, we're gonna, when we get a chance to do what we do, we're gonna make sure it's understandable, it's playable, that a 6-year-old could pick up the controller at least and give it a roll and somewhat understand the controls and understand what's going on. I don't want no one to feel like you have to own a separate set of DLC or a bunch of other BS to play the game. The whole game was
even hit a certain level. I know Borderlands is bad for that.
On the ground to play the game, and then while you were doing that, you could be attacked by the enemy nearby while you're reading how to attack. So why? It's a what the fuck moment.
Right.
That's what I mean. Why bother if you're going to be attacked already with a few seconds in gameplay? Or why have the game if you're going to make everyone pay for it along the way and have massive amount of money put into the game's DLC shop or something? All of that's in the game. Yeah, there'll be a shop around every town, and I would like to have a already set and play multiplayer style, but not mandatory, but it'd be better if you started the campaign and knew what you were doing at least. And because the multiplayer would add a new style, which is it's the same world, just everything's gone, but the landscape, and you get to build your own town. You get to pick a state as called the home state, not hometown, home state, and you can build up cities. You can pick actual locations IRL, but they're not called you can go to quote Louisiana, but it's not It's not called Louisiana. It has its own name. The towns of Louisiana don't exist. That's the war ravaged starting of an apocalyptic scenario. The people went through things, shit happened, and there might be some states that don't exist in the 50. It's still a 50-state country, but they talk about don't go to Omaha, don't go to Ohio or Oregon for X reasons. You could go there all you want, but the multiplayer stand thing as well, you are the villager, you are the person and the player. So you feel the world, basically. And there's things like you can ally or war, and you can probably tell us we're writing this, if you're ever viewing this, future us, we got big plans, lots of trials as well. And one day I hope making these public would be kind of fun too after the game's already created.
And also,
how did you do all this, Gath? Link in the description. It's like, oh look, a whole playlist. What the hell?
Oh god.
You know, I think it'd be much deserved. I'm gonna turn my Xbox off since we're doing this video though. I don't want to kill the battery life on my system because it does run down with that headset.
But I think we should keep these. I think we should keep these within within like a certain amount of minutes. We don't want hours and hours of footage to have to look through at a time to do these. So we'll do them one at a time and do them short.
Yeah, I could see that.
Okay, but I think we should
stop it here. We can.
Right, there's just a few ideas that we had.
Let's wait a few more seconds and turn it off at 17. Make it 17 minutes easy.
Okay.
If we can help it. But that's what all I had to say about this. Hopefully, we enjoy this. And it works.
Right.
Right? You should have turned it off at 7.